Hello and welcome to the Soul Collect channel, where we collect buckets of salt from the tears of enemies. And I'd just like to say hello again, because I've been gone a while. I didn't know when I was going to come back. December time for Christmas, I think, is a good period. Why not, right? I've missed it a little bit, I gotta say. I have been playing now and then online, and I do one armory a month-ish. It's not like I used to join the big tournaments, unless it was a Nats thing, and maybe a PQ here or there, so I'm still not doing that. There is a Battle Hardened coming up in March in Holland, but that's a 3.5 hour drive, so I don't think I'll be going there. Anyways, I'm back. Good to be back. What I want to do now is, because I don't know, I just feel like it's a good time to come back. I feel like there's a lot of people asking for Boltyn gameplay, and I might be a little bit rusty. I might not be playing the type of players I used to be playing, so, but I think it's better than nothing, you know. Once players like Flame Dog get going, get their content out, I would highly recommend watching that, because he plays, I think into a lot more competitive players than I do. So bear that in mind whenever I'm talking about win rates and things and that type of baloney. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to go walk through 3 of the decks I've been trialing. Then I'll go through the new card. Actually, let's do the new card first. How's that? Because I think that's what's on a lot of people's minds. It is the Boltyn card called Warcry of Bellona. Yellow, light, block 3 already. It ticks the boxes we're after. Target rating gets +2 this turn. So it is what you might call an on-rate yellow, which is 2. An on-rate red is 3, like Courageous Steel Hand, the other Courageous Steel Hand. However, it's got significant drawbacks to it, where you can only use it on a raid, so you can't use it to start the chain. The upside is that with Lumina, it gets +4, so it becomes 0 for 4, which again is sort of on rate. And 0 for 4, Scarf Scar, Ravenous Rebel, that's the card you're looking at. Again, it's better than that because this stripe here, this word here, and this box here. So yeah, and if you get double Lumina of this, it's 0 for 6. That's when it starts to become above rate. Do I like it? It's fine. I'm not in love with it. I don't think this is going to be that good into Prism. Not Prism, Enigma. I mean, that's what it's for, right? I guess you might steal a few wins either with this on the swing for 0, or this when they swing and you have more life than they do. But against most heroes, you need 3+ soul for it to work. Against the heroes that buff their weapons, it's not going to work. Against ninja heroes, maybe you get them low enough to get this off. Against Enigma, it can be a blowout either way. So I don't think it's worth considering this as a strategy to beat Enigma. This is fine though. I mean, this is probably going to do more against Enigma, this +2 to your Raiden, than this will, to be totally honest. Just to sneak some damage over the top and just beef up your Lumina turns. So a situational Blade Flurry, yellow, light, block 3, not bad. Not amazing. Not going to change. Not going to bring Boltyn up from any tier, whatever tier you have him into the tier above that, but it might give you a few percentage points, because it does a lot of things in terms of a lot of good things. No single great thing. So the good things are, it helps push damage through if you want to be a bit more aggressive. So if you're racing, it's nice. Instead of waiting for 2 Luminas, you get this, and it sort of guarantees an on-hit. It helps if you want to set up a double Lumina turn. That's nice. It makes this even better. The more I talk about it, like I have waves with it. You know, sometimes I think it's good, sometimes I think it's bad. I think Would I replace Lumina Lance with it? No. I think Lumina Lance, for me, is good. It's a main deck card. This could replace Lumina Lance. It could replace my Red Valiants, because I don't really play them that often. It'll definitely go into my yellow deck matters, because yellow, obviously, and I could replace a red card with this to make my Prayers of Bellona even better. Interesting card. I think they dropped the ball a little bit on this. Like, if you want us to beat Enigma, this isn't going to help. Enigma has way too many ways to. The chance of you drawing this card on a turn where they have a board of 3 auras and they attack with a Spectral Shield with no cards in hand, and you've got 2 soul, because you gotta have 2 soul, because I think the +1 counter is more common than the +3 counter. +1 counter, which one's that? I don't know. Anyways, you'd always do 2. X equals 2, unless you're really, really desperate. Sure, X equals 1. It's never going to hit Mirror Guy, because you're never going to have that much soul. So it's not going to help that matchup too much. Like I said, I think this +2 will help more. I don't know. I mean, definitely worth testing. Definitely a cool card to have in the binder, but I think it's going to be one of those Prayer of Bellona type cards that are just on the fringe of being good and just not quite there. We'll see. That's just my take. I have been wrong in the past, but yeah. Okie dokie. I hope it's good. Obviously, I hope it's good. I don't want to say it's bad just to be opinionated type of thing. I want it to be good. I just don't think it's going to be that good. Like, if I want to, I'd rather have this into Enigma. If I'm focusing on Enigma, I think this is just better. Like, it can really clear out a board, and they have to have a D-react. It does damage. Like this, you take damage, you lose soul, and still might not work. But it is nice to have it. It is nice to have that additional thing, and to have the Enigma thinking, okay, I can't just attack with a single Spectral Shield without any way to buff it. Then the bluffing games come in. Yeah, that type of thing. I guess you can sort of put it in the snag column, like snag against us. If you snag a V the Vanguard, it's super painful, but we have ways around it with Snapdragon Scalers, or with a Courage token that comes in before and doesn't affect the snag text. So snag with a block value and an additional thing, yeah, so maybe, that's the way I sort of look at it. When snag works, it works really well. Snag is easier to use, I think, than this card here, but the effect, yeah, it might be similar. I don't know. Okay, let's go into my decks now. As I mentioned, 3 decks, starting off with the Noble 6 Hundy. This deck is a Cheerios style deck where we play a lot of zero cost. Being Bravados, Charge of the Light Brigade, Engulfing Light. You can see them here. Charge of the Light Brigade is a necessary evil because we don't have to light the way. Take Flights. And Take Flights are so good at being soul positive. So we have Charge of the Light Brigade to act as a 0 for 3, but not to be an attack. So you don't need to give it that attack go again. Instead, you pile on Engulfing Light to 6, you pile on Bolt of Courage to 6, Spirit of War to 6, Light the Way to 6, and it helps with those on hits. And not only do we have Charge of the Light Brigade, we have Lumina Lance, which is a bit heavy in this deck because we're not really having that much soul. And then we've got 3 Courageous Steel Hands in the sideboard and 3 Beacons of Victory to sort of push over these on hits. It is an aggressive deck. It is very aggressive. We're trying to play off 3 card hands here. 2 card hands, you've got Being Bravados, basically. 3 card hands, you've got Charge Light Brigade plus a 0 cost charger, or a pump plus a 0 cost charger. And then 4 card hands are, yeah, you can go Charge Light Brigade, Engulfing Light, Sword, Express Lightning. The V turns are very good in this deck because you got Express, Illuminate, 1, 2, 3, 6 on hits with 2 in the sideboard when you want that V matchup. I have Take Flight in the arsenal just because I don't have enough soul to keep pushing through against those decks like Florian or whatever, and that's the weakness that I found against Florians, Enigmas, the more control-y decks, or the decks that block really well. This just doesn't have enough gas per card, I should say. You can spike some nice big turns with Snatch and Bolt of Courage, but apart from that, you're sort of on the back foot. It's very good against aggressive decks because they just don't like to block, and so your Spirit of War becomes a mini V the Vanguard. Illuminates are fine. Everything is basically going to hit. Light the Way with Charge the Light Brigade is soul positive. And even Snatch into the aggro decks is fine. 2 block might be a liability, but you block for 9, come back for 4 on hit, threaten on hit. It's pretty good. Snags was for, I think it was only for Nuu, which I don't think is necessary, but it is fun to do when they get their Bonds of Agony out and they like save a big turn for it, and you just snag it. Especially just a nick. Oh, it's so good. So you can get huge value out of Snag. I think you get more value out of Snag easier than you can than a new card, but it doesn't have any additional other text. Okay, so that's this deck. Let's go through the results quickly. How we doing? My results: 160 games, 74% win rate, which is for me below par. We need 77 plus, 78 plus. I think I finished on 77, and then I continued playing and didn't do too well. So Aurora, like I said, against aggro decks is a good matchup because we play well off 2-card, 3-card hands, off 1-card hand of Snatch. Dash IO was just almost free there. This is with High Octane. I'll just let you guys know that. Enigma, surprisingly positive results here. Florian, this felt so rough on this deck. It felt very, very rough. Run out of soul too often. Had to be super desperate with Snapdragon Scalers and that type of stuff. But yeah, this is a surprise here. I'm seeing it. Brutes, I think they just become our easiest matchup. One of our easiest matchups now. Nuu, again, because this deck plays off 2 or 3-card hands. If Nuu disrupts you for 1 card, you can still put in some decent pressure. And I'm pretty sure Snag has at the right time has helped me win the game. I've gone a couple instances. Victor is tough with this deck as well because again, Soul's an issue. The V the Vanguard turns need to be big, but he disrupts quite well. But I think this is a accurate reflection. Viserai, a lot of people say this matchup is super difficult, unwinnable, whatever you want to say. I don't think so. Is it 8-4? No, it's not. I definitely lucked out in a few games. But it's not like 90% to Viserai or 80% to Viserai. So I think maybe at absolute worst 60-40 Viserai. Absolute worst. Again, I'm talking about these matches from a point of view where I'm playing on Talishar. Most of the games are on the competitive Talishar, not the casual one. Doesn't matter because you might find casual players playing that request undo thing, so you never know. I've definitely played some good Viserai players, definitely, and I've beaten them. I've definitely played some good Viserai players, and I've been hammered. It's gonna happen. Viserai is a very good deck. I'm not trying to say otherwise. I'm just saying he's not invincible. Okay, we can win. I don't think you can say I've been lucky 8 times out of 12, or I've played 8 noobs out of 12. It can happen, but it hasn't. I'll be very honest with you. If that was the case, I would say so. It wasn't. Vincent Iron Man, I think, is the same problem as Viserai, just not as good. One of these games I should have lost for sure. They just missed a line that was obvious to me, and I'm not a Vincent player. So, yeah. And then Zame Tamer Purpose, I think this is a good matchup. Very fair now that he doesn't have half the cards he used to have. Really cool deck. I think if I'm going to play another hero, it would be Zen. Just I like him. He's got the defense, he's got the offense. So he's sort of like us, where you can pivot when he needs to pivot. Good mid-range deck that can play aggressively when needed, that can play defensively when needed. Very good defensive cards. But now he's averaging like 10 to 12 damage a turn. So we can afford to take some damage from him and hit back quite easily. That is the Cheerios deck. Lots of fun. Try it out. It's actually very difficult though. Very, very difficult. If I go to community results, let's see how you guys are doing. 50% win rate. So, and like you're getting killed by Aurora, Dash. Doing well against Enigma. Well done there. This is definitely gonna happen. KO, nice. Nuu, nice. That's good actually. Auxilio, I think we should be winning this more often than not. And even here, I mean, 5 to 7, not bad. Vincent, this is just, you got to get the reps in. This is a tough matchup, but you got to get the reps in. Losing to Boltyn, we're losing to ourselves. That's fine. I think this could be 60 easily. If you guys, if we get a bit more reps in, this could be 60. Okay, next deck. Yellow deck. This deck is super fun. Where is it? Boltyn Jamming Hybrid. I call it hybrid. I don't know why. Don't ask. Results. Oh, we'll go for the cards first. Obviously, a lot of yellows. As good as stats. We've got 34 starting yellows. And then we bring in at least 6 every time. At least. I mean, these should always be in, actually. 6 to 9. We can bring in even more. So that just makes Prayer Bellona turn on. I put in Battlefield Blitz after a suggestion from one of the Discord users, and I think it's better than Light the Way Yellow. Actually, I don't know. I'll get into that soon. So this deck thrives on 4 to 5 card hands. So against disruption decks, against decks where you only get 2 cards, it's not very good. Obviously. Okay, you can Tunic Prayer, but you're not on Tunic in those most of those decks. You can maybe pitch yellow Prayer, hope to draw something, and pitch and you go with the sword. You got Illuminate. You got 6 of these. You got some bolts. But overall, it's a pretty bad 2-card hand. Pretty bad 3-card hand. But when you get to the 4-card hands, that's when it gets fun. Take Flight, Battlefield Blitz, Sword for soul positive, not so much damage, but you're soul positive, and being soul positive is so important when you want to set up your final turns with Celestial Cataclysms, multiple Celestial Cataclysms, Beacon of Victories, that type of thing. Or you can go Take Flight, Searing Ray, Valiant Thrust, something like that. So not only is the yellow a significant color, it is also a significant pitch number for all the 1-cost cards that we have. You don't need to play Tunic on this deck, because you go Via the Vanguard, pitch a yellow, Via the Vanguard into Searing Ray or Valiant Thrust into Sword, and you're still doing 17 to 19 damage. So 17 to 19 damage on a Soul Bond deck is great. Obviously, there are decks where you don't care to have Soul Bond anyways, and then Via the Vanguard could still be good, because you can go Via the Vanguard off of Tunic, maybe charge 1 and then play 2 of these for a solid amount of damage. Obviously that then requires Soul again, so it goes back to being Soul positive with our plays. Really fun deck. Searing Rays, I think you could get rid of both of them. Put one Valiant Thrust in. I had it in just as a fail-safe. When you don't draw a charge card, you draw a yellow. You could play 2 of these for 12. 6 and 6, which is kind of cool. Or you can go pitch a yellow for Prayer Bellona, and then Searing Ray for 8 if you don't hit. So it is that fail-safe, and it is good into the decks where you're not blocking anyway, so the 2 here at the bottom doesn't matter. Command and Conquer, yeah, it's nice. I don't think it's exactly. I think I put it in for the new matchup because whenever they codex you, you can just bring this back and force some cards out of their hand. Soul Shield, I like. That all you got, I'm starting to really like. And Warmonger's Diplomacy is, I don't know if it's needed. Who do we play against? Vincent and Viserai. Both of those guys can just spend a turn setting up and still whoop your ass. Results. Let's go to my results. 75% over 133 games, so very similar, which is a surprise to me. I thought this would be much worse, to the Cheerios deck. Again, Dash, 12 from 12. I just fatigue them now. Without High Octane, just fatigue them. The good dashes will really work on getting double maximum velocity turns. Enigma, this deck's better against Enigma because you're not blocking, so you don't need to worry about 2 or 3 card hand turns. You just have your big 4 or 5 card hand turns, and you're pushing all these awkward numbers for them to try and block. It should be good against Florian. I think I lost a couple unlucky ones, like 1 or 2 life. Maybe it was not unlucky, maybe it was just close. But I think it'll be better against Florian than the Cheerios deck. Jarl is okay because you got all the extra resources. Nuu is terrible because they disrupt your hand, and your hand becomes crap. Using 1 card in this deck, your hand becomes very bad. Viserai again, 9 for 6. Now, what was it last time? 8 for 4. Now we're saying 17 lucky games, 17 noobs. I don't think so. It is possible to beat Viserai. Not enough reps into Vincent to say anything here. Again, Zen, I really like this matchup, not because I'm winning it, just because it's a fair matchup, and I get to do what I want to do. They do what they want to do. It just turns out that my value is better than their value because of things like Lumina, double Lumina, and their blocking is not, with all the D-reacts, it's good, but when they don't have the D-reacts, it's terrible. Not terrible, but it's like 2s and 3s, right? That turn into 1s and 2s after our buff. I did lose 1 game to a very good Zen player, a YouTuber, I forgot his name. Who was it? I don't know. Anyways, and he played the full package of D-reacts. Whenever I had my big turns, he had them, and it just worked out very well for him. It's still close. I think he had 7 life left, so not that close. But if the timing is just a little bit off for the D-reacts, I think we should be favored into this matchup quite nicely. This deck is maybe even funner than the Cheerios deck. Maybe because it's different for me and it's trying out new things and playing Warcry of Bellona, and that's why I like it. But yeah, give it a shot. I would highly recommend trying this deck, and the new card will fit in here so well. I don't even have Lumina Lances in here. I might take out something like Command and Conquer, Searing Ray. I think everything else I need. Battlefield Blitz maybe could go out. I don't know. Yeah, that all you got really has impressed me, and it was from another Discord user. I think Metal was it? He sort of put this on my radar, and I didn't believe him. But after playing with a few games, the times it works really well. When you're not going to draw a card, it still blocks 3. It's still a yellow, so it fits into the synergies of this deck. Yeah, I will try it out a bit more. And now let's go on to my final deck that I'm playing right now. It is Boltyn Jamming, non-hybrid. This deck, I think, is in the middle between the yellow deck manners and the Cheerios deck. It's got some good 2-card hands, some good 4-card hands. 3-card hands are average. I mean, because we're not working on that 0-cost buff sword type attack. We're just working on 2-card 8s, 2-card 7s, E-Strike, Beam Bravados. What else do we got? We got Rebels into one of these bad boys. I'm loving E-Strike. I think it's very good. Beam Bravados, obviously. I mean, most of the cards I'm sieving over because they're very stock standard. 6 take flights for the soul positive aspect, and again, being soul positive, You know, you hear Boltyn being spoken about like, oh, he's doing 12 damage a turn. He's averaging 3.5, 3 value, whatever per card. Yeah, he does that, but he also does a lot more. Okay, he does those so he can do turns that are 20 damage, 24, 20, 32 damage turns. It's not as often as the other decks, but we block better than the decks that do it more often than us. So I am starting to get annoyed, and I apologize. But Boltyn is a good deck. If you can't play him well, don't blame the hero. Look at your lines. Look at what other people are doing with him, and take it from there. Yes, you're going to have a brick hand once in a while, but you build your deck in a way that doesn't brick, you're not going to have a brick hand as often. Yes, you're going to have a turn where you just do 10 damage, or you do whatever, but you're also going to have turns where you do 20 damage plus 3-4 life gain, whatever it is. You're going to make their blocks awkward when it gets down to 2 life each, and they start having to block 2 cards per card because of the buff. And you know, there are these good things with Boltyn. Saving Gray's value with Helm of Halo's Grace, and the Bannerets is huge. Yeah, I mean, he is a difficult hero to play, more difficult than I would have ever given him credit for in that regard. But he is a good hero. He can do good things. Is he S tier? No. Is he A tier? No. I think he's a high B tier. High B tier that can take down the S tier, A and S tier decks, or can compete against them. You know, maybe not beat them consistently. So if like, I don't play against the Brodies, the Michael Fangs, I don't even know who it is these days. So I can't say what that's like. I'm playing against people like me. Obviously, I probably put in a bit more time than the average armory goer. So maybe I'm sort of in between that Brody and the casual player. So, and I'm beating up on the casual players a bit more than testing myself against those players. So there is that as well. And I'll happily admit anything. I'm not like, oh, I love Boltyn, so anything he does is amazing. No, I just do it based on my results, based on what I do. All the tournaments I go to, I have been to, I've ended up positive on win-loss ratio. I think the only one that I went even on was Worlds, where I got hammered by 2 Icelanders and a Dromai, and then I beat a couple dashes and someone else. I forgot. But that's what I'm getting, that's what I'm doing, and so therefore I don't call it copium, I just call it doing what I'm doing. And if people are not doing that, and yeah, they might be having less luck than me, or their gem is not as kind to them, that's going to happen as well. And I haven't experienced that, so maybe there are aspects to it that I am not seeing, but this is what I'm seeing. My results: 83% over 60 games. Not bad, right? This is what I'm seeing when I'm talking about how good Boltyn is. There are a sprinkling of different players, different levels of players. Yeah, but you can see a trend here with all 3 of the decks, that it's not that bad a hero. I don't know what we should be looking at to be healthy. What this should be healthy. You know, I spoke to a friend of mine, a very good player. He said the only time he got over 85 was with Lexi. When Lexi was dominating, I think he said he got close to 90 over hundreds of games, and that's incredible. But if you're winning 1 in 5 games or 3 in 4 games, that still gets you top 8 to most tournaments, right? Anyways, I mean 4 in 5 games winning, not 1 in 5. Anyways, rant over. This deck is probably the best performing deck. I still have another 60 games to go to reach the other decks. This could easily drop in those 60 games. I have been lucky into a lot of Jarls. I have been lucky into some victors. I lost a game to Enigma, which I thought I was definitely going to win. But it just going to happen. They're going to have Miragai with a Spectral Shield and Astral Etchings. It's going to happen. And that's what happened. 16 damage Miragai, and I died. Florian, I just lost to one Florian as well. both on 2 life or something. I think he had me. I don't think there was any way I could have won that game. Yeah, I guess that's about it here. I mean, Viserai again, 2-2. I think one of these games I should have won. It wasn't against a very good Viserai, but I did a when I play better in person than I do online. Maybe that's the same for other people, so it's negates it. But online, I don't pay attention to half the things I should be paying attention to. In person, I'm much more vigilant in what I'm doing. And then again, some good results. One last thing I'll say when we're talking about winning meta, how good the hero is I think each hero, the S tiers, the tiers that we put them in, change slightly or significantly depending on the skill level bracket you are in. If you're a high level player, then you have a tier group that reflects you and other high tier players. If you're a mid tier player, that tier rating will likely change, because some heroes just require more work. Some heroes have a lower learning curve, shallower learning curve, whatever the word is. And then when you get to like beginner level, you got to have an even different tier list of where heroes are. And Boltyn is not a beginner friendly hero. There's a lot of unseen value. So be aware of that as well. The very complex heroes will be placed higher in the tier list the higher skill you are. The hero gets better disproportionately in a positive way. So you increase 1 level, the hero power increases 2. You increase 2 level, the hero power increases 4. Whereas some heroes, you increase 1 level, the hero increases 1 level. You increase 2 levels, the hero increases 2 levels. So on and so forth. And then once you get to like the top levels, I think a lot of winning and losing is down to how good you are as a fundamental. How good are your fundamentals in Flesh and Blood? How well do you know the matchup? And then obviously there are some heroes that will do better against other heroes and whatnot. Like Guardian into Enigma is just painful to watch. Anyway, enough of the rant. And yeah, maybe I am smoking a copium pipe. But when I'm losing, I'll say it. You know, when I'm getting thrashed by people, I'll say it. Okay, so the sound issue means I've got to play the video and talk over it, which might actually be better. And I could pause and fast forward and things like that. First game was against Victor. I decided to go first for the soul. And I did a full soul bond armor thing here. I can't seem to find the fast forward thing. It's kind of annoying. Playback. Let's go faster. Let's do that. Yeah. A soul bond build with aggressive cards, so with the 5 aggressive cards and Rebels and Courageous Steel Hands. Why soul bond? Because I could do a full block of any of his attacks and still crack back, and he has to be an aggressive deck in order to compete in the meta. That is why I'm doing that. Submit the deck. Here's a nice start. I get to Charge Bit of Arena. Now I could either go with Take Flight into Sword, Arsenal Take Flight, or Take Flight into Sword and Arsenal Engulfing. I choose Engulfing just because it's an easier attack, and I have Spirit out, so I don't need to worry about Lumina. They go again for Lumina. Yeah, so his blocks are a bit subpar here. He goes yeah, he gives me the Iron Song Courage token here. I don't know why it doesn't block here when I'm playing. Then it becomes apparent that he comes in with a erase face here, and I think to myself, this has got to be a pummel. I mean, why else would you keep that hand? You could have just blocked with 2 cards here and then erase face and whatever. So I'm thinking to myself, this hand's pretty good with the 2 beacons. Spirit out. I can consider taking armor here, or just wait a turn, accept the pummel, the fate of the pummel, and then E-strike or something, and just be patient. I decided to be patient because really I don't want to overblock with equipment. I could do full equipment block plus 1 card and then double Lumina, but I think that puts me so much on the back foot, even with double Lumina, that I just decide to say no blocks. And no pummel. Guardians do have those hands as well, where it's just so awkward, but it's just weird because why didn't you block the turn before? Here I don't bother going with a Lumina turn because I'm not getting the soul value and I'm not getting the life value out of it. I am getting a nice soul in because of he's letting this hit, so that's something. He wins a trounce there. And then I don't remember what I do here. Yeah, I think I sword and then E-strike for 7. Put on the damage. Because I think I get the soul if I need it through my armor. And then I have Spirit of Arena out for any Luminas that come my way, or Beacon of Victory Lumina, that type of thing. So he didn't block at all, so I'm wondering what his hand has here. I'm hoping it's just a go again and not a pummel. It wasn't a pummel last turn, but I still have a sneaky suspicion it's got to be something. I'm less sure now than I was before, but what I'm going to do is just take it. I've got 2 beacons now, which is kind of annoying. It was a pummel. The first time I don't think he did it just because he disrupted me enough with it. Here, I think I make a mistake of blocking with Iron Song. I should have just taken the damage, milled the card, and stuck Beacon of Victory in. Why am I putting Beacon of Victory in? Just because I want to get my soul count up. I pick up a Saving Grace, it's not bad. We can go straight to the arsenal afterwards. Yeah, this block gives him an additional point of value, but we're still going to do it because it's just a huge waste of a turn if we don't. And we've locked up his armor, so at least we know he can't block. Yes, now we know he can't block with his armor. It keeps it locked up, and this is why he's attacking. Not such a good hand, and why he wasn't blocking. Sorry, he didn't have such a good hand there. Now here I just block it out, preserve the life, because I don't really have a good hand there. I'd rather keep the D-react for a later point in the game. If he blocks here, with another card, great. If he doesn't, he lets it go through. I get the soul, which is also good. I think no matter what, put him in a weird position. Let's go back to the previous turn. Yeah, put him in a weird position, because if he didn't have a block card, then I'm getting value out of this no matter what. Getting rid of his armor, or getting rid of 2 cards, or gaining a soul, which is good no matter what. And then he comes in with his 8 attack power card. I have double Lumina, so I snap no blocks. I still have my D-React in Arsenal, which is nice. Of course, we don't use both Illuminas now. We use one to make him think that we just have the one, and maybe he might block exactly for 4 or 5, and we can sneak over the top. Like here, I don't know why he does that, because he's not saving the damage. We don't have to use any soul here, which is really nice. And we quite easily even the life totals. What I don't like having now, when I'm being the aggressor, is having my D-Rec and Arsenal. Doesn't feel too good, but I still have a nice hand here. Here I'm thinking, I wish I had my Valiant Thrusts in, because then I could take flight, sword, Valiant Thrust. Then I'm thinking, which I misplay a little bit here, I could have gotten a Celestial Cataclysm, but instead I eat up a lot of soul, just to push damage through and pick up a Illuminate, which I think is the wrong thing to do. Maybe soul-wise it's fine, but I've got Saving Grace and Arsenal. I don't need to worry about soul. I've got 2 armor pieces here to give me soul. And I lose my courage token here, which, I mean, it's okay. I still get to push damage through or force some blocks. Not the end of the world. Now we're just taking, yeah, we're just really getting ahead of this game. He hasn't hit any, what are we on? I can't see the turn, what turn it is, but he hasn't hit any, let me see if I can see. I don't think he's hit many block cards, so we're lucky in that regard. No, we can't see it. I can't see it, unfortunately. That is definitely beneficial for us in this game. Buff power. We hesitate here for the soul, but we think, okay, he's on 9 life. Let's push the damage through and just force him on the back foot. I mean, the only thing that's going to save him now is some really good blocking cards. This is kind of annoying, but I have Saving Grace saved for a moment like this. And then I come in for 7. And now he really needs to get his blocking cards in order to survive. I can't remember what happens here. Oh yes, yeah, he goes for the Oasis Respite, which is odd for the deck construction. Good for us because it's a 2 card. 4, 5 if you count the life gain, which is underrated. And now we're just deciding on how to win. He needed a block card last turn, I feel. Well, he needed it turns before, but the last turn would have been nice for him. Now I'm contemplating, do I want the soul or the damage? I end up going with the damage because of the life totals. I don't need the soul at this point. If I really want soul later, I can block with my armor. The problem being is that he is going to be on the defensive end for the rest of the game. There we go, there's a block card. Draws a card there. Another block card, 2 in one hand, which is very inefficient. And we win it. Ravenous Rattle showing up. Yeah, and now, I mean, block cards are good, don't get me wrong, but whatever they draw is gonna be an attack action which pumps our cards. So yeah, I think we ended up being a little bit lucky that game that they didn't see block cards early, and we got Illuminos early. Next up we got Dash, Let's see, how did I think I have the sideboard coming up here. I just go full defense here. I take out Spirit of Arena. I have Helmet, Boots, Soul Bond. And D-Reacts. And I think I just put in a random 3-block to replace Spirit. Yeah, Boltyn Blade. Who's going first? I think I can't remember who's going first. He's going first. Okay, so from the bat, I could tell a good Dio player, dash IO player from a bad one. I don't know, a bad one, just inexperienced, I would say. And using a Boom Grenade turn 0, a red Boom Grenade turn 0, is losing a lot of value because there's no way he's going to get this to pop. Like, I don't think there's any... Yeah, I can't imagine a way for him to get this pops. He's come off the top here. I'm going to block everything. He even gives me access to my Winged of Warpath of Winged Grace if I really want the Quicken token. So I'm already confident as soon as this game starts, he's going to go balls to the wall and we just fatigue him. Maybe he didn't want to lose it to Spark, but like, I'm not going to kill him that quickly. Right, so... Pulse Wave. And this is like another thing where I'm thinking, he's got no arsenal now. I would have tried to prepare something a lot better. My hand's not great, doesn't have to be. The most important thing is this number here, not what I'm doing. Like this number up here, if that's dropping and our life isn't, then we're gonna win. A few Discord users like to race -IO. I don't see the need to do that. Maybe if they're setting up and you could tell that they're taking it a little bit slower, then we have to put in the pressure and really like force them to think. Right now, this game is not thinking. This game is super straightforward. Even this hand, I think I have a double Lumina potential here. I would trade it for good blocks. Really doesn't matter. Everything he's doing is just going quick. And I charge a Banneret here just to get some guaranteed go again. For next turn, I could actually have charged Warpath of Winged Grace as well, like now for this one. But I think instead of doing that, let me pause here. I don't think I thought of that at the time, to be honest. It would have allowed me a double Lumina from the get-go, but it meant I wouldn't be able to block here. I would lose an arsenal piece. Here I was thinking, look, I just block this for 9, block it for 12. Really doesn't matter. Like, if I'm stopping these turns, he does 2 damage to me over the course of this turn, I'm winning. That's the way I look at this matchup, and it is kind of boring, I know, but that's just the way it is. That's the way I win. And you can see from my results, it has been working. Again, I don't know what type of Dios I've been playing. I did play against a very good Dio once, and I just turned to double Lumina him, and he couldn't get back from that. But that's not going to happen often, right? So I can't rely on that as a strategy to win a game. Turn 2 double Lumi. You can rely on double Lumina to win a game over the course 5-6 turns because you've got blocks, good armor, and things like that. Here, I attack with the Lumina, and if he blocks 4 Xaxo with his armor, I beacon for 1, give it a go again, get no Lumina. If I hit on the Lumina, then I could play the second Lumina and go for 10 and gain 4 life and 4 soul. If I whiff on the second Lumina, on the first Lumina hit now, then I just Arsenal and pass. That was my thinking at this point. But he doesn't block. I don't think he was expecting a double Luminis turn, so I do hit, fortunately, so I can play the second one, and I could threaten 10 more damage and 4 more life gain, which would really, really, really turn the tables. Do I hit both here? Let's see. I do. Going for again another one. He blocks. I would try to block all of them if possible. And just keep setting out your turns. Maybe keep one card in hand with a Tekla Core. Boom Grenade comes in. Sprocket Rocket. Okay, these are easy blocks. No breakpoints. We block it. This is an annoying one card up. I don't need to use armor. I don't even need to think about what I'm doing here in terms of like efficiency of blocks. I could save my armor for a turn that it really matters. Now it doesn't matter. Yes, it's still early in the game. He still has 37 cards. But I'm going to get rid of a Boom Grenade. I want to survive a Tekla Core turn. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Here, I guess he should have used this. I mean, I don't know what else he would do with it. And then he shoots here. So now at this point, I'll pause here. At this point, I could block and take 2 damage, which is probably the better thing to do because life totals is not an issue here. But his life is relatively low. If I get him with 2 more 4s, puts him down to 7, and then he becomes in must block range. I decided to take it just to make the game a bit more interesting. Like if this was a tournament, I think I'd just block it and just say I don't need to attack. I force him to make those turns to beat me. Yep. Here I am threatening lethal, but I don't need to let him hit here. He gets a lot of value from hitting 3 from this, 3 from that, and possibly an item for some go again shenanigans, extra action point shenanigans. He got one anyways. Now here, what I would do if I was him is I would set up maximal V turn with his backup protocol. He chooses to be more aggressive and try push damage through this turn, which I don't think is the right decision. I think he undoes. Yep, needs the resources. But now he's on 25 cards, and my life title's on 30 with armor. I really don't need to worry too much about this. I block here because I just want to deal a nice good 7 with Celestial Cataclysm. Again, I don't need to. I could have blocked with Celestial and Iron Song. Nice Sink Below basically means we're going to win the game. Sink Below wins this game. It's one Sink Below in Arsenal, well-timed Sink Below, and they really can't do. I mean, the decks that are trying to just go full steam ahead, I'm talking about. Here, I think I just take, I'm just taking as little damage as possible. Finally, he has a 5-card hand, which might be the push through damage. Yeah, I put him down to, what do I put him down to? 3. Yeah, so now, like, everything's lethal, and his blocks are horrible against me. And so he's going to run out of cards. I get 16 cards. Again, I don't need to attack. His weapon can't attack me. I can just say, be my guest, do whatever you want. I'll block you out. With a Sink Below in Arsenal, there's nothing you can do. Here he should take the E-Strike. Oh, maybe. I don't know. E-Strike or Engulfing Light. Definitely not take Flight. If he takes Engulfing Light, I can only come for 7. If he takes E-Strike, I can come for Engulfing Light for 8. And then, or 3 with Engulfing, 3 with Raiden, which could be 8. because he has to block one of them, and then the second one he has to block as well, so it would be 8, yeah. Boom grenade, 2 sink belows. This is just GG. I'm happy he attacks me so then I could Banneret of Gallantry here and then not worry about go again. And there you have it. I mean, our value wasn't great, 13.5, but that's the way I've been playing this matchup, and it's been working so far. Again, as mentioned multiple times, I don't control the opponent. And now we have the last game. I don't know what I'm doing here. This is against Nuu. I don't know if it's a CYB Nuu or a traditional Nuu. I do tunic with boots and Warcry of Bellona. I put in 65 cards again, so similar to what's his name, Victor, where I got the D-Rex, but also some power to punch through, because otherwise I'll just get fatigued threaten anything. I see he puts 2 bonds under his deck, so that gives me 14 turns ish to wait until they come around. He wants this in the graveyard for Codex. That's fine. I accept that. He hisses, he hits me for 1. He gets a go again in his arsenal. Here I want soul. I have no soul. So I go again, charge. And the charge might put awkward numbers for him, especially a Bolt of Courage, if he doesn't have a non-attack action. And he does this, he blocks with armor as well, which is nice, and then that means I could just go with Raiden to push more damage through. I'm starting to think that it's not a CYB deck because he's taking the damage. This hand ain't great. I remember saying that what I'm probably going to end up doing is sticking with these View the Vanguards in Arsenal and trying to protect it and make suboptimal decisions because of that. But let's see how it turns out. This card is kind of annoying. This is the one that draws a card if he banishes a red and he gains a life. I decide to take the odds here, 50-50-ish. We knew we had to go again. Misblade, and then let's pause again. So he's got a prognosis in here, so that's going under. This could be, this 2 here means, and this attack potentially means surgical, or CNC, or Codex and CNC. That's what's on my mind, so I take it. I'm going to block 2 cards no matter what afterwards. If it's Codex, I want to keep more cards in hand. Here we take E-Strike. Again, the flexibility of the E-Strike shines, which I like. I'm given, at least I'm forced to get rid of my View the Vanguards. I block with both of them, thinking this is not a CYB deck, so I want to prioritize Beacon of Victory for a big late game push. And draw a card. Bolt of Courage. Okay, so the value is higher than if I would have just pushed for 6 damage, the +2. Again, he's taking damage, so I'm thinking, okay, he's aggressive. He wants to keep his big hands. Here, he starts with this, with a Beckoning Mistblade, which is normally a tell for I'm going with the blue card next. It can easily be a bluff as well. He should have started with Scale Peeler though, because then I couldn't block with armor on the second one. Okay, so that is a blue. And I'm thinking, okay, here is going to be Mask or Nick. Yeah, and it was Nick. I was not expecting the second one though. A lot of damage, and he gets to keep a +1 attack, +1 buff in his arsenal. My hand's not great actually. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, because I can do that. Courageous Steel Hand, and have a go again on my Enlightened Strike. That's 2 just the Nicks out of the game. Sink below, fine. Draw a card again with, I mean, at that point, forgetting what I drew, having a Sink below an arsenal is very worthwhile, but it's not worth the doing nothing with that E-Strike IPing myself. And as we all know, Boltyn is already an IP1 hero. An IP, is that what it is? IP3? Three intellectual heroes. So we don't want to give ourselves another intellect penalty. 3 intellect penalty. Yeah, drawing a Lumina Ascension is pretty good. I decided to use my counter on the Raiden because I decided to use the counter on the Raiden because I know I ain't going to get a good chance for my Vs. I've lost 2 of them already anyways, so. Here I can't read it too well what's happening. I want to keep my hand because I got some good stuff coming, but at the same time, how good is it? Well, I got to go again for sure with my engulfing. So we know this is a +1, right? In his arsenal. That's all he can do. Not the worst, not the most threatening turn. Here, if he does this hit, we can Illumina. If he doesn't let it hit, we just Raiden, and it's fine. It sucks that power card and arsenal that we're trying to protect, but that's just part of the game. I think you just got to be more aware of that. He let it hit, so we get to Lumina. When I say be more aware of that, is just be more aware of your decision to put a power card in the arsenal, because once you do that, psychologically you start to think that you want to defend it more, and as I said earlier, you're going to make bad plays because of that card in your arsenal. Have no attachment to it, because just like be totally emotionally ruthless, where you have no emotion in what cards you have, what lines you want to play. You're only going to be able to play what you can play and make it the best you can, preparing for their disruption. Miss. Does he let me hit here? I don't remember. He does. Okay, so this just leads me to believe that he's even more aggressive. He's not a CYB deck. Definitely not. Here, yes, I'm thinking, okay, I could go full block here, keep sink below. Block for 9, keep sink below just for any tricks, and do it that way. Phone's buzzing. He does the mask trick and gets rid of my entire hand. I could have potentially just blocked with Take Flight and banner it, and then had this for 10. I don't know the math too good here. He could have got over 10 with the amount of cards he had. And it might have been safer. I would have just lost one card and he would have used his whole hand, potentially. But this is what I chose. I'm not giving him the satisfaction of exiling a card, banishing a card. Now we're back to square one here. Okay, so this is pretty good. Here, I play the odds again, and I say, you know what? Last time it was a 50-50 for red and yellow, now I'm going to do it again. If I give him my yellows, he has to hit a red off the top. And I'd rather keep my reds because I can attack with Illuminate and Beamin. I think I'm deciding if I want to play around just a nick and something else. Just a nick and the card in here is 6 damage, so yeah. And then he's got to have one more card. One more buff. Which is easy with his gloves, whatever they call it, arousing wave. But he's got to spend to do it. He does venomous bite, and we were lucky. He hit a yellow, not a red. He did gain some life though. Here I go for this because it's 6 damage versus 4. Perhaps it was the wrong thing to do. I could have put the beam provider in arsenal, but then I just can't remember if I checked his graveyard for disruption cards, arsenal disruption cards. Yes, so he's got 2. Still got a Leave No Witness and 2 CNCs. Again, I'm going for the value here with Iron Song Versus because I don't think I'll get it anywhere else. Pay for C. I think I blocked this. I think. I'm not sure if this is the best way to block it, but I have so much soul that the Luminal Lance is going to help me out big time here. Arousing Wave. I think it's worth blocking this one. Count Your Blessings. So this is where I find out it is a Count Your Blessings deck. Which is like, I don't even know what turn we're on yet, but it's deep into the game, and that's his first one. I block it anyways. I don't want him to draw a card. I don't want him to gain a life. And I have Luminal Lance for the double draw. I think I'd go for it now. Yeah. I'd rather do it now and see what I draw than wait on the sword attack, give the sword attack go again, because it's so soul intensive as it is. That's nice. That's not so nice. It's a bit odd now because I can't give anything go again. Bit awkward. But I think I save it. Yeah, I save it for one more turn. Bonds of Agony. So I'm guessing here he doesn't have any. Well, he can. He can go Mask, Undertow, Undertow. So he does have the ability to do things. I should have got rid of the Courageous Steel Hand so I can at least Warcry of Bellona. Slither for the go again. He hits. I forgot what he takes. I think he takes Beacon, as you would. Yeah, I probably should have gotten rid of the Courageous Steel Hand, so I had 3 yellows. And I could still go Warband of Bellona, Sword, whatever. And then he leaves a card in there. Attack for 4, I think it is. Yeah, I think it becomes sort of dangerous levels for him now, and he should be blocking a bit more. And I'm thinking, okay, Count Your Blessings has to be coming back at some point. You can't just go through the whole game without any of these Count Your Blessings. And this is a good hand. And this I don't care about. Yes, so I think, okay, I remember what I do here. Take the damage, get rid of any card here, it doesn't matter. Express Lightning with Courageous Steel Hand is the way to go. Count your blessings, sure. He goes up in life, he has no arsenal. Double Trouble doesn't happen. I go Express Lightning here. With Sword, I mean, already threatening lethal, so he's got to do something. If I had one more soul, I think I would have won this turn. I think. Yeah, so now his hand is empty. So what does that mean for us? It means we have an opportunity to bring in via the Vanguard. And it's probably going to be Count Your Blessing. One of these is going to be Count Your Blessings because, like, he just hasn't had the luck on them. Or not the luck, or the timing. Yeah, put him down to 1 here. Via the Vanguard, coming into Arsenal. And I don't think he can disrupt me. I block this with my Warband of Bellonis. My deck is looking a little bit small, but his life total is looking really bad, and all of his Count Your Blessings, I'm calling them Prayers of Bellonas, Count Your Blessings are underrate at this moment. His whole hand can get 2, right? He can get 3, 2 blues, he can get 3 of them. Still, I think we'd win. The Sink Below is an unfortunate card to have, but it has to be in the deck for this matchup. And there we've gone around full cycle, I believe, Bonds of Agony. I don't think he shuffled his deck, right? Unless, oh, Steer the Pot. Yeah, Steer the Pot maybe. Count Your Blessings. Block. Take 5. I mean, you can block with armor here. Take 4, and then Illuminate for 6. And still have soul left over. Yeah, there you have it. Those are the 3 games. I think it's a little bit more... Sorry, guys, for the mess up on the sound. I think it's more interesting while I'm playing. I think I could explain things better while I'm doing commentary on it. But it's just a little bit less animated, because when I'm playing, it's like I'm in the moment. I'm jabbing, I'm weaving, I'm dodging, I'm blocking. Now I know what's going to happen, and I revert to my normal tone of voice. But anyways, I hope there was something to learn from that. And at least the first part of the video was recorded properly. Yeah, until next time.